Welcome. In this video I'd like to review this Pixel C100, which is an absolute Aputure 120D copy. If you know anything about Aputure lights, then this is very similar in design, in terms of power output and everything, but is it any good, and why does it cost only a third of the price? You'll find out. This is kind of to make this light look a little bit fancy. It doesn't actually come with these barn doors, but this is to show you that this light can actually be attached with any Bowens mount accessory you have. So this over here is just a nice photo, Bowens mount barn doors with 30-degree light angle beam, so you can just have it, you know, kind of spotted somewhere if you want, or do things like that. And then it comes off very easily. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Boom, and there is the light. The light actually comes with this little dish over here. So this is more like what the light looks like when it comes in the box. Let's talk about some of the outsides of the light, okay? So as you can see over here, this is the COB LED on the top over here. On the paper, it says it's 80 watt. Okay, there are 3 versions of these available by Pixel. One is 80 watt, one is 140 watt, and one is 220 watt version of these. Obviously, the price goes up and up and up. And as well, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll leave links below so you can check them out. So as always, links are in the description. But this one is the lowest one, the 80 watt version of it. So over here, as you can see, it's very much like Aputure 120D Mark II, you know, or 1. You've got this little handle over here on the side, lock it in, and it works very well. You've got this handle in the back over here. The light, it's plugged in on the back over here. In the front over here, you've got the COB LED. It's protected. You don't see any heat pipes or anything. And there is actual glass on here that protects your LED, which is very amazing, and you don't see in the cheap lights. So this over here is the power brick that comes with it. So you've got this little power brick and then runs in the back of the light. This is attached to just a normal kettle lead, so you have this lying around anywhere. So if you want the longer version, it's very easy to you know, get it replaced. Let's put the disc back on, which is really nice and easy to do. And once it's in, it's actually quite solid in, and it doesn't move around as much. To cap off what comes in the box is all this, what you can see over here, not the light stands obviously, but you do have this little power brick, as well as this power brick like a hook or whatever, so you can line it up with the power brick over here. You can attach it to something like that, have it closer to the light if you have light sources or light stands or something like that. Then you will have this little remote over here that you can attach the brightness on, as you can see. Boom, slide it like that, things like that, which is very interesting. If you have multiple of these, you can have them with different groups and different channels, and they all can be controlled at the same time with this remote. It comes also with this really nice carrying bag over here. If you are familiar with Aputure products, you already know that this looks very familiar what you get with Aputure. Okay, it's very nicely padded inside, looks very premium product, very awesome. Now, if you're wondering how much does this cost, then surprisingly this costs only around 250 pounds or dollars, depending where you're from. For the latest pricing, check out the link in the description. But now the brightness, okay, something that should grab your interest, okay? So I tested this with a light meters. I was just wondering to know, you know, how bright is it? Just to compare it to something. Okay, I'm gonna put some numbers on the screen at the moment. You can see it measured at 0.5 meters, 1 meter, and 2 meters. And because this light is fixed at 5600 kelvins, it can be only measured at 1 color temperature. It gives you these numbers. Now, if you're not familiar with any numbers, they might not tell you anything. You think, okay, cool, it's this bright something watts, whatever. But now, next to it, boom, you can see Aputure 120D advertised brightness and looks, which means that this light is as bright or slightly brighter or exactly in the same brightness category as Aputure 120D Mark II. Now that is interesting, and this only costs like a third of the price. This light can be dimmed from 1 to 100%, so all the way. Also, another cool thing that I like about this light is that the light settings, last settings have been saved on the light. So if you have it, for example, at, let's say, 32%, we're gonna turn it off. Now when we're gonna turn it back on, it's at 32%. If you're gonna dim it down to 1% over here, and then turn it off, turn it back on, it's exactly at 1%. Now, if you look at on the back of the light over here, you can see that there are a few things going on. This is the power cord that goes into this red bit over here, and the power cord is a 4-pin mini XLR, or one of those 4-pin power cords with a DC input. Then there's the GP, means group, so you can adjust the groups if you have multiple of these lights. You can adjust the brightness in 25% like steps. Next to it there is the remote. If you want to like sync it with the remote, whatever is on the remote, you can do it there. The channel over here, you can change channels. Obviously that also relates to remote. You have this power button over here, turn it on and off. Little knob for dimming the light, as well as a little button in the middle of the knob, which actually is for the fans. So I'm not sure if you can hear it, but if you hold this button down, it forces the fans to go higher. The fans are very quiet, which is absolutely amazing, but at the moment the fans are going like kind of force, you know, spinning. If it's not on, it's just an automatic setting, so if it needs to go higher, it just goes higher. So I would just leave it on auto all the time, no need to change it anywhere. So the power cord over here is actually lockable. So if I just pull this power cord, it won't come up because there is actually locking mechanism. You're gonna have to pull this little bit out and then it comes out, okay? So if you look at the cord, there is this little moving bit over here that actually is the locking mechanism. We talked about brightness, but in terms of color accuracy, I don't have any devices to measure the color accuracy, but what I've tested with, you know, what I'm getting, just using my eyes to test it, it looks very good. I've got nothing bad to say about this. Just on the paper, actually, just to tell you the numbers, the CRI is 97 plus and TLCI is 99 plus, which are very impressive numbers and industry standards. This over here is a Bowens mount, which means that you can have a lot of different and cheap accessories for this, so you're not limited to whatever is provided by this company. You can buy any Bowens mount accessories and they'll fit with this light. I forgot to mention that there are actually 3 scene modes. If you turn it on and then hold on the channel button, so this is scene 1, which is lighting, and then if we go to scene 2, this is lighting as well. Let's turn it up so you can see. It's kind of like a different lighting style. Third one is like a screen, so you can kind of imitate computer screen or something like that, as you can see in the back over here. So the price is 3 times cheaper than Aputure 120D Mark II, but this feels very good build quality. The fans are quiet, everything looks sharp, it doesn't feel cheap, everything is solid. I like this Bowens mount a lot because I've tested recently another light by the Falconized BL30 TD Mark II, which is the only bi-color changeable 300 watt like COB LED spotlight in the market at the moment, and I wasn't happy at all how much the accessories wiggle around in the Bowens mount. This is completely like solid in there and it just feels very good. It's so easy to take it out. It just moves so easily and so well, very well done. Now if you look at this one, all the heat sinks and pipes are covered with this little protective aluminium or whatever material this is over here, as well as the glass over here. Now this just makes you feel very premium because the actual LED is protected with this glass. That's just amazing. Okay, so now let's talk about the bad sides, or sides that I don't like that much about this. So first of all, the power cord from this actual power brick to the light is very, very short. It's maybe 1 meter long, something like that. So it can be a little bit tricky in some of the longer, you know, if you've got like a long boom pole on the C-stand, it might struggle a little bit. But if you can mount this power brick closer, you'll be fine because it's easy to extend this power cable here at any lengths. You can buy any replacements, but it's very short to the light. Second of all, which stops this light from being perfect, is that it doesn't have a DMX port. Now, if this light had a DMX built in over here as well, it would be the perfect light, because then very easily you could have it studio setup, or if you're using a stage lighting, or if you're in a church, you have a church stage lighting, things like that. You could easily use this as one of the main lights over there, and then have accessories and the spotlights or whatever in the front, and it would be easily dimmable or actually controllable from the DMX test, but it isn't. Next thing is, if you're into reading instruction manuals, then the instruction manual is in very bad English. Another thing that you probably should know about this is that there is no battery power option. So if you're used to powering this light, or you want to take it, you know, in the field, and you want to power it from V-mount battery, for example, it's not possible. So lastly, which is not like a bad side, but it's just like a little spec thing that I kind of found out, which puts a big question mark in my head. The 80 watt, 140 watt and 220 watt versions, they're all advertised as the same brightness. So I'm wondering what's the difference. Pixel, I would love to check out the other lights as well, so maybe we can make this happen. But generally this light, I thought it's gonna be just like, yeah, and trying to find the good sides of it, but I am super impressed, first of all, of the brightness, how much it performs, how much it looks like Aputure 20D. It just copies Aputure 120D, and I don't care. Honestly, I like this light. I can't believe this is so good. I can't believe this is so bright. It should be much more expensive. It's very well balanced. What are you getting for your money? So this is probably for people, you know, who have maybe studio setup, you want to have some soft boxes or things light setup, and you're not bothered if they're actually plugged into the mains, and it doesn't really matter what the mains is. This light is absolutely perfect for you. And if you want to fiddle around a little bit with cables, there's a very nice carrying case with it as well, which is super, super cool. So definitely thumbs up from me. I am very impressed with this light. If you want to pick it up, if you want to check it out, the link for this is in the description. Thanks guys for watching. Hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, leave a comment below. I'd love to you know, start a conversation with you or check out some of the questions you might have. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing, because more content like this is coming out every single week. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.